for LLM preparation, entrance preparation, MCQ. Since Hart assert that there is no necessary connection between law and morality, what then is the difference between Hart inclusive legal positivism and exclusive legal positivism? Answer: inclusive legal positivism does not completely discount the possibility of interface between law and morality. Inclusive legal positivism does not completely discount the possibility of interface between law and morality. 28. The functional approach to understanding the law is best explained as answer an evolution of the society by social and economic circumstances. The functional approach to understanding law is best explained as answer an evolution of the society by social and economic circumstances. 29. One way to grapple with the problem of conflicting claims over limited resources, according to Amartya Sen, would be answer replace obsession and justice, replace obsession with justice with an aim of reducing injustice. Replace obsession and justice with an aim of reducing injustice. 30. Harm principle would be answer. Harm principle would be answer. A rider on the liberty of person can only be justified to avoid harm to a larger segment of persons. A rider on the liberty of persons can only be justified to avoid harm to a larger segment of persons. Say 38. Who among the following is not an analytical positivist? Answer H.L.A. Hart. Answer H.L.A. Hart. Who among the following is not an analytical positivist? H.L.A. Hart. What is the problem with defining law as a command? Answer: obligations are sometimes entered into voluntarily by parties and the law does not mandate them to do so. Obligations are sometimes entered into voluntarily by parties and the law does not mandate them to do so. 3. Illustration: people who act contrary to rules ought to be liable for punishment. Principal Austin said, the existence of law is one thing, its merit or demerit is another. Question: what then gives a rule the force of law? Answer: the idea of a sanction is built into the very notion of law. The idea of a sanction is built into the very notion of law. For the significance of the classification as primary and secondary rules indicates that secondary rules cannot exist without primary rules. Cannot exist without primary rules. 5. Identify the wrongly matched source origin of law. Answer: Jeremy Bentham. Functional approach to law. Functional approach to law. 6. Identify the stage of law that is not a part of marine comparative and anthropological approach. A time when law was made by the command of rulers acting under divine inspiration. A time when law was made by the command of a ruler acting under divine inspiration. 7. Principle of liberty and difference principle mentioned in a theory of justice was written by John Rawls. Which is an example of a particular idea of justice. Pick the right one. Answer: Fuller, inner morality. Fuller, inner morality. 9. Illustration: in claiming a seat in an engineering college, for example, there are competing but sometimes equally strong claims. Amartya Sen suggested of a way out of the conundrum is answered: appropriate measures to be identified by examining what reduces all forms of injustice the best. Appropriate measure to be identified by examining what reduces all forms of injustice, the